Hello, my friends. I'm here to tell you about my strategy for 2021 season fantasy football NFL. All right. So here's the deal. You may be new to fantasy football. You may be a veteran to fantasy football. I'm just going to tell you in a general way. What you probably are, though, is you're probably one of the people that I play against in my league, and you're probably trying to find out what my fantasy strategy is. Well, this is how I beat you for all those years. So anyway, let's check it out. I'm going to share the screen here. I'm using Zoom, so forgive me and forgive any background noise because my girlfriend's in the other room watching The Vampire Diaries. Nothing but screaming and yelling and then whispering like from the other room. Anyway, all right. So go to any web browser. I know I'm like one of only 10 people in the world that use Bing on this computer. But anyway, you can use Google. You can use, Safari, whatever you want. Type in FF Toolbox. I am not paid by these guys. They're just the best that I've found. And when you do that, click on the link and it'll come up to this page here. So this is a pay site. I don't pay for it. You can get a limited amount for free and then you can pay for more. I just use the free stuff. So go over here to overall, right? Click on overall. It's going to give you a list of the top 200 fantasy players. And these people do their research. Okay. So basically you got the player, you got the position, you got the team, you got what week they're on a bye. You got it, whether or not they're injured, you got their age, you got their average draft position. That's what that stands for. This is for pay leagues. We're not going to deal with that because what we're doing is a general, the most common league. So the most common leagues out there are, well, let me just finish this. Projected points and then the box score. Now, the box score is what you want to use because projected points can vary based on position, relative strengths. This takes all of that into account. So you don't even have to think. You just go right down your list. Okay. That's one way to do it. But I'm going to tell you about positions and which, a couple like specific things. Anyway, this is for a league that is either 10 or 12 players because those are the most common sizes. Usually it used to be 12 players. I know a lot of people got to 10-player leagues, but this strategy will work for both, in my humble opinion. Okay. And also this is for standard scoring. Now, standard scoring is that wide receivers, everybody, wide receivers, running backs, they all get 6 points per touchdown, but quarterbacks get four points. Now, if your league has quarterbacks getting 6 points, quarterback's going to go way up on this list here. Okay. So this is for a standard scoring league. And this is what they call a snake draft. You're not like an auction. You don't have money. That's what this column here, AAV, is for. What this is where, you pick a number, you're first, you go all the way down to 12, then you go back, 12 picks 13th, 14th, 15th, it goes all the way back up to 1. So if you're first, you pick first, but you won't pick again until you're like 24th pick. So that's a long time to wait. But anyway, here's a general strategy that I'm going to use this year, I believe. Now, everything's subject to change. When you're like drafting, you might, change your mind, and that's okay. But it's important to have a plan to go in with. And then if you deviate from that plan, that's fine. But at least you have like a framework to work with. So this is what I'm going to do. So basically, you can see here that McCaffrey is valued way above everybody else. Okay. Way above. So if I'm drafting first, I'm picking McCaffrey. I'm not going to second guess this. These people here are experts. That's what they do, right? They get paid to do this. So I'm going to go with McCaffrey. Everybody's like, well, you're going to go with McCaffrey or Henry. Henry was great last year. True. But also, Tennessee Titans picked up a lot of weapons. So, they picked up Julio Jones for crying out loud. But anyway, I don't have to second guess that. I can just go right down the list. So if I'm second pick and McCaffrey's gone, Dalvin Cook looks really good, right? Well, here's my first caveat. I personally had Dalvin Cook last year. He was a monster. Love that dude. However, I would probably go down and reach for Travis Kelce, and here's why. If you can also sort this list by position, so you can press on tight end and it'll list all the tight ends, right? And it'll give you all their box scores. Travis Kelce is the only one who has projected points in the 300s. Okay. Now, obviously, the box score is not here. Now, if you paid for the site, the box score would be here. But you can see, basically, there's nobody even close except for Darren Waller. And I'm not, convinced of that. George Kittle, who is amazing, is much further down in projected points than Travis Kelce. So, I mean, I'm going to take Kelce. I had Kelce last year as well. No wonder I won my league, right? So basically, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if I don't get McCaffrey, I'm going for Kelce. And the reason why is because I have a third wide receiver. The guy scores points like a wide receiver. Let's go to wide receivers for a second. What did it say for Kelce? Projected points, 317. If you look here at 317, you're talking he's the fifth best projected points per wide receiver in the league. And he's in your tight end slot. Most leagues will not allow you. You have to put a tight end in the tight end slot. You have to put a wide receiver in the wide receiver slot. So another thing, most leagues allow you to start one quarterback, two running backs, and two wide receivers, and one tight end. So you want to have, aces in that tight end position because nobody else is going to be able to come close week in and week out. Now, on any given week, yes, they might outscore your guy, but week in, week out, Kelce is a monster. So that's why I would forego picking a running back, tight end, or running back, wide receiver, or quarterback, and I would pick Kelce. Now, let's assume that I get Kelce. What would I do next? Well, let's go back to the top 200. All right. I'm going to go for running backs. You know why I'm going to go for running backs? Because running backs are expensive. They are not in abundance. Good running backs. You can see here, the talent really drops off after about, I don't know. Let's say here, let's pull up the running back list. So here's a list of all the running backs. So McCaffrey is projected to get 415 fantasy points this year. That is insane amount of fantasy points, right? Dalvin Cook, who was a monster last year, isn't even close. He's like 60 points behind. And Alvin Kamara, who's amazing, is behind that as well. And then you're down to Austin Eckler. Now you're talking a full 100 projected fantasy points lower, right? So you want to get one of these guys, one of these top three, if possible. But if you go down further, you'll see that after these first three guys, it kind of levels out here. All right. In the upper 200s, lower 300s. Let's go to wide receivers. If I picked a wide receiver, I could get Devontae Adams, amazing wide receiver. He's going to be like that much better than Tyreek Hill. I don't know. Tyreek Hill is pretty amazing. Justin Jefferson, amazing. Stephon Diggs, amazing. I mean, you can see there's a lot of talent here. I would be happy with any of these guys. I don't need one of these guys over another one of these guys. I just, any of these guys are going to do. Now, having said that, if I'm picking Travis Kelce and then I'm picking up a running back after Travis Kelce. So let's assume we go down the list, picking up Travis Kelce about here. And then when it's my turn to draft again, I'm somewhere down here. So I'm picking up a running back and I'm picking up basically like Saquon Barkley or Nick Chubb. But I'm guessing that that's not the case. I'm guessing there's going to be one or two knuckleheads out there that are going to go reach, and they're going to reach for like a quarterback, or they're going to reach for like a top flight wide receiver. They're going to just double up on wide receivers right out of the gate. That is a strategy. But the thing is, there's going to be plenty of wide receivers left after the first few rounds, right? And forget quarterbacks. Don't even think about getting an elite quarterback. Here's why. Let's pull up quarterbacks. Mahomes is going to be gone. Somebody's going to pick him up in the first round, right? And that makes sense, but not for me, because quarterbacks are cheap. After you get down to the ninth quarterback, they all start to look the same, right? Actually, it's more about the 11th quarterback. Any of these guys are interchangeable. Ryan Tannehill, Ben Roethlisberger, Kirk Cousins. Any of these guys are serviceable quarterbacks. Even if you waited until you bought a Travis Kelce and then two running backs and then two wide receivers, you could still wait. Everybody else in the league, if you have a 12-person league, has gone down through Matt Stafford, and you could still pick up Tannehill in the 6th round. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? Especially now he's got Julio Jones. So there's your guy right there. Tannehill, big, right? Ben, he's going to be throwing the ball a lot. Absolutely. You know, he's not who he was. He's not the quarterback that he was like 10 years ago. He's a serviceable quarterback. I just watched the preseason game. And I know I'm Pittsburgh, so like I got a little bit of a, but I know a little bit more about him. So, it is what it is. But, which is a Pittsburgh saying. Somebody told me. If it's not, put it in the comments below and tell me I'm wrong. All right, cool. Well, that's my strategy. So I'm going to go Kelsey. I'm going to go 2 running backs. I'm going to go 2 wide receivers, and then I'm going to pick up Tannehill. Now, let's suppose that I can't pick up Kelsey, right? Then I'm definitely going running back, wide receiver. Not sure. Tight end, quarterback. I might wait on the tight end. I might wait on a quarterback. Let's look. If the first 11 tight ends are gone, and I'm down here, yeah, I mean, all these guys are the same. Look at them. All their projected points are within like 10 points of each other. So there's no reason to I can wait on them, right? So I'll go running back, wide receiver, quarterback, tight end. There's a strategy for you. If Kelsey's available, and if you didn't already, if McCaffrey's gone, because I'm going to take McCaffrey over Kelsey. If Kelsey's available, I'll take Kelsey, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, quarterback. There you go. Easy peasy. Hope you guys have a great day. Good luck in your fantasy leagues. And I hope, what can I say, man? I hope you guys do well. If this helped you, please smash like and please subscribe to the channel because that helps me a lot. Have a great day. See if you can help somebody. And if you want to see updates during the season, put it in the comments below so that I know you're watching. Because if you're not, I'm going to go play Candy Crush or do something else. Or maybe I'll start watching the Vampire Diaries with my girlfriend. 8 seasons, man. They had 8 seasons of that show. How's that even possible?